Hi friends, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today I want to do a discussion about modern gaming or 8th gen gaming. And I thought I'd take the time and kind of share where I've been lately with them as well as my feelings on them as far as the pros and cons. There's certainly so many advancements with gaming, which I've spent the bulk of my life since the beginning, since Pong, chomping at the bit to see things progress forward and advance. That's why I quickly left the C64 games and grabbed onto the Super NES. That's certainly why I, gravitated towards the Panasonic 3DO and the PlayStation 1 when I saw what was coming with that, as opposed to the, more of the 2D sprite stuff on the Super NES. So, I'm someone that has been pulling as a major fan, come on, let's get even more immersive games. I want to see the graphics even better. Better lighting, better shadows, smoother polygons and graphics to where, we're at a point today where the graphics are just photorealistic. I still, to this day, when I think about Mad Max, I get so excited. The graphics, this is my favorite 8th gen game. Avalanche did a supreme job with the photorealistic weather effects, the graphics. My God, the clouds and the lighting look so good. It has some slight cartoony kind of a look with some of the characters and some of the modeling of the some of the places, areas that you fight in, as far as the buildings and structures and some of those things. It has a lot of video gamey kinds of things in there, but overall it's just so immersive, and that's why I could sink hundreds of hours into this game, because it's so fun and you really feel like you're in that world. That's a world that I would love to be in. I love that whole concept. Especially after the Fury Road movie, and this came out the day that did on on home DVD and Blu-ray. They came out with the game the same day, which maybe that's why it was rushed and needed so many patches. In fact, they just had a 5th patch for it, and then that broke something with the death races, so they had to come up with a 6th patch to fix that. So, and that's another one of the points I want to get to as far as one of the cons on modern gaming is, my God, the patches. We take it for granted with these early games. These games were finished. You bought a game and you never worried about bugs. At least I didn't. Maybe other people did. I never was a real big PC gamer until about 2003 or 4 in there. Around there, I think I started doing PC gaming. But early on, I had confidence. When you bought a game, it worked. Now, I didn't like every game that I bought, but I was happy with them, and I never worried about bugs and, oh God, it's going to crash, and do I have enough room in my memory card for the next big patch or whatever, Didn't have to worry about being online to connect for the games. And so you could just enjoy the games. You could just enjoy putting a game in and playing it. You never had to worry about that. So that certainly is one of the cons today, is that it's just, and it's just getting worse. I guess the new Red Dead Redemption 2's got a pretty hefty install deal. I don't know if it's on more than one disc. I think it's got a huge install deal. The new Black Ops 4, I know, has a huge, day one patch or some 50 gigabyte thing. It's a lot. It's it's just giant. So my early PlayStation launch PS4, just one or two games can wipe out, the whole your whole memory storage deal. In fact, I bought one of those. I don't know, it's a Western Digital. It's a 4 terabyte, external hard drive for my PS4 Pro, and man, I'm glad I did. I've already used up like half of it, already. Plus I've got games that are installed on the hard drive. I think it's got a 1 terabyte hard drive as well. So. And I was happy just to see the 1 terabyte, at least. It's a hell of a lot better than, only having 500 gigabytes. And again, I don't have, as many games as a lot of newer gamers. I just kind of been selectively picking up the ones I want. So that 5 overall terabytes will probably be more than enough for me, at least with this gen. But even still, it's just, there's so many dynamics. I just had that little discussion with Radical Reggie, recently. At the SAT Gamers event there, Expo, and we were talking about these newer games and how he's anxious to play so many games, whether it's on his Switch or some of these bigger games like Red Dead Redemption 2, and he's kind of apprehensive to even start them because they're just, I mean, they're overwhelming. A lot of the games today, you get your money's worth. I have to hand it to you as far as the hours you can put into them. My God, I mean, you know, like a game like Far Cry 5, I mean, I don't know how many hours, but I bet you could put 60 plus hours easily into this game. Knowing me, I'd probably put 80 to 100 because I love turning over every rock and stone, doing all the side quests. And that's one of the reasons why I never finish these fucking games, is because I feel compelled to do everything. I'm afraid I'm going to miss out on something or not level my character up enough, God forbid. So I love to do all the side quests. I like to earn all the money so I can get all my favorite guns and cars and helicopters and all that stuff. So I've been apprehensive to start this. A lot of gamers are going, and it's just funny, I've talked with people, even good friends of mine that have played Mad Max. They haven't even completed half of the stuff on the map. They just kind of want to get through the story, and that's enough. And if you do that, this game penalizes you. You can't. That's why a lot of reviewers were really pissed at this game. They go, "Oh God, the money system and it's broken. You got to grind for 1,000 hours to unlock all of the melee stuff for Max and all the stuff for the Magnum Opus for his car." And perhaps that's true, but because I enjoyed the game so much and the process of grinding with this particular game, it didn't bother me. And I've got 4 playthroughs of this. All of them, none of them are less than 100 hours. I think the shortest playthrough, and they're not even done. None of them are even finished because I kept having problems with the game and getting corrupted and had to redo it again. So I think my shortest game is like 105 hours, 104 hours, something like that. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. And again, if you like the grind, then it's not that bad. I guess this new Assassin's Creed Odyssey game, I mean, it's a shitload of missions. It's an enormous world. I mean, who knows how many hours? If you try to do like everything in that game, who knows? A couple hundred hours maybe? I don't know. So in that respect, at least you're getting your money's worth. You hear a lot of people talking about value, where I've played, Call of Duty Ghosts, I played it twice all the way through. The campaign, in a way, I kind of like these 5 and 6 hour campaigns because I can finish them. And I thought it was fun, So like a ride at Disneyland, it was fun. It's a nice linear ride. It takes me a couple nights to get through it, an hour and a half here and 3 hours there, and before you know it, you're done. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's why, in a way, I kind of like these Battlefield campaigns and Call of Duty campaigns, because at least I can finish them, and there's a sense of satisfaction. You see the story finished, and it's done, which is nice. In fact, in a way, I've got this new Battlefront. I've been trying to get at this. My father just moved up here from Palm Springs. I haven't even seen my dad in over a decade, over 10 years, since 2008, early 2008. And so I'm trying to help him. He's got a lot of really bad health problems. I really feel, even though I'm kind of buried the hatchet, and I'm trying to make peace with him because I really feel sorry for him. He's in a rough shape. And so I was going to start this a week ago, but I've been helping him, unpack and try to organize his new place up here, and naturally he needs painting and a lot of stuff, and so I haven't had the time. I'm wanting to finish. I want to get into start Mafia 3. I've been playing this Alien War and digging this new version of it, having so much fun, and so it's been tough. So what I've been doing is I come home, and because I've got all this energy for gaming now, I've been just playing little bits and pieces. So I can play this for an hour and a half, or 45 minutes, and have a ball with it. And kind of re-honing my skills and getting my skill set back up where it was again in this, because I was really good at this at one time. And I'm playing Road Rash, and other games as well. And I'm having so much fun with the PlayStation 1. And that's one reason why I'm kind of been gravitating towards these older games, because I can complete them and finish them. I mean, the very first Twisted Metal, you can play in virtually a couple hours all the way through to do the whole thing through, especially if you're good at it. These games, a game like, the PS2 version of Return to Castle, Wolfenstein, I can beat, I think it was maybe 12 or 15 hours. And that's with me finding all the hidden areas and all the gold and leveling up and doing all that. And even that those are kind of good games I can finish. So, and there are plenty of newer games that probably have, like I said, Call of Duty Ghosts and many other ones that have a shorter campaign, and you certainly can finish those. But those games primarily are multiplayer games, to be honest. I mean, the new Battlefield 5, the story mode, probably beat in a few hours, 4 or 5 hours, I would imagine. So it's nice that at least they include that. It's not a game I'm going to be playing, and that's another story. But at least it's there if you want to play some single player, action, outside of multiplayer. It's certainly available. But I really miss these old games where you can finish them and you can have fun with them, and you can just go through and play your favorite, parts of the cities and areas and arenas, and you can go back and just replay the game, play it on hard, play it on a harder difficulty, which makes it even more challenging and more fun. That's why I love these games. I especially love, like I mentioned, this Twisted Metal, because I can go back and just do the challenge mode, just pick one major arena, and I can typically beat that in about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how big of an area and how many enemies I have and how long I take my time to get through it. But there's a sense of satisfaction with it. So that's why I've been playing a lot more of the older games for that reason. And I enjoy them in some respects more. I have not played... I think there's again, I get so overwhelmed at times with these newer games, like wanting to start Mafia 3. Now, I know they have some kind of a site on the internet. You can check out how long it takes to beat a game. I haven't seen that. I've never checked it out. Maybe I should check that out. So I don't even know, like Mafia 3, is it a 10-hour game? Is it 50 hours, 30 hours? I have no idea. I would imagine if you do a lot of the side content, it's probably a lot of time you can sink into it. And I've got so many games I've started and not finished, and this is part of the problem. One of my... It's not so much a this is my personal issue with modern games, is that some of them are big. I think that they genuinely are trying to give you lots of activities for your money. Jim Sterling would probably call it busy work. And if you're bored with a game, or you're trying to rush through it to get a review out, or it's just not your cup of tea, then certainly I could probably see why he considers it busy work or mindless filler. But if you like the game and you like doing some of those activities, then it can be fun. I've been wanting to play the Sleeping Dogs. I've got the definitive edition of Sleeping Dogs. I'd love to go back through that game. I love that world. My daughter was up here a couple Christmases ago, or a couple years ago, and her and her boyfriend had played that. And they said, "Dad, do you have that Sleeping Dogs game?" "Oh, yeah. In fact, I just got the new definitive edition, which I just recently got." So I put it in, and I started from the beginning, went through the opening cinematics, and went to his little safe house and showed him how you can do the wardrobe and all that. Of course, I've got the one with all the DLC and clothing and outfits and cars and everything. And I was just driving around the entire island, or the entire map of Tokyo, and showing them everything. And they really were intrigued with it. They loved the graphics. It looks so good on the PS4 Pro. And that's when I love my PS4 Pro, is when I'm playing a game like that. You see all that neon and the graphics and the way the lighting looks, and the volumetric lighting and the shadows, and just how fluid and smooth the frame rate is. It's so nice. I mean, I think the PS4 Pro is probably the coolest and nicest console I've ever had. I honestly believe it's a powerhouse, but yet it does struggle with some games. So now they got the new Xbox One X with even better graphics, and more of the games are like in a native 4K versus the checkerboarded thing on the PS4 Pro, whatever that means. I mean, some form of upscaling apparently. Gives you the illusion of high resolution when perhaps it isn't. I couldn't tell you. If someone put a Mac 10 in my head, I wouldn't know the difference, or how to define it, or maybe even be able to tell native from checkerboard. I don't know, but to me it looks good. I'm just kind of a layman console gamer, and I know you guys are the PC gaming, and you can dial it in and get it even better. 120 frames per second, even better resolution. The anti-aliasing, you can dial it into where it's absolutely perfect if your shit's strong enough and fast enough to run it. And I can certainly appreciate that as someone that's a perfectionist visually. I can understand that. Just for me, with all of the updates and driver updates and trying to get these games to run perfectly, I would be immobilized with so many choices just in the settings menu. So to me, I like kind of a plug and play, and that's why I'm a console gamer at heart. But I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about the future. Again, even though I'm a huge advocate of physical media, I like games that are finished. I mean, done. I'd like to think I could play this on a PlayStation 3 without an update or a patch. I probably can. I think most 7th gen games you can, except for like Dead Island and some of the later games in that cycle. I know some of those did have patches. But it's just nice to put this in and know that it's done. It's not going to take a shit on me because it didn't get the patch update, or now I'm not connected with the internet anymore and I can't hook up to it. So, and I've had to lighten up with my viewpoint on, digital games. I was very much against them, but I mean, frankly, these new games, or even the new, Game of the Year edition of Fallout 4, I mean, you don't even get the entire game on the disc. You're still going to download the DLC and the patches and everything. And so, I mean, as long as your thing is online and you can get all the updates, and you can technically take it offline and play the game. And I'm okay with that. As long as I can own the game. The digital rights management is going to be real interesting to see where it's going to go in the future. I'm real concerned about that. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I think that could, I know that Microsoft already has a new diskless. There's no optical drive in one of the new consoles that's coming out for them. And that's fine. I think that's a good idea. It's a cheap way. You can make a cheap console, sell it at a good price, and some people are perfectly fine with digital games. I'm kind of okay with them as long as I can own the game and I don't have to have my console connected all the time. I don't mind being connected online once or twice a day to receive updates and what have you, but I don't want, if my internet goes down, which it does quite often, unfortunately, because even though we pay for the best, it's just we have interruptions, I got a killer, Wazoo Death Star fucking router setup that it's like super high tech, and we have noticed a noticeable improvement with how well everything stays connected in the entire house because of it. But even still, we still have issues, and it's not a problem for me with my games because I can play them offline, even though the game, needs to be connected to get those initial patches and all that. So, something where it comes to like streaming, I'll never be a part of. If it goes on a cloud-only deal or streaming, I'm not interested. PlayStation Now, I'll never do. I like to own my games. I don't even like the PlayStation Plus, even though I'm not an online gamer. I was going to get, oh good, I'll get that so I can get all these free games every month. But the minute you stop your subscription, they take away your ability to play all those games. So it's like a tease, It's like, yeah, as long as you, pay us forever, yeah, you'll have access to your library. But it's like a blackmail is what it is. And I don't condone that. I don't like that. Now, I do have many games. When I first got, Xbox Live Gold, I think I got Dead Island and Crackdown and SSX and a variety of games, and Lara Croft, The Guardian of Light. I got many games for free, and all of those games I permanently have in my 500 gigabyte hard drive. So even disconnected from the internet, I own that, and I like that. I thought that was great. But from what I understand, I think the Xbox One, if you have games that you get with Games with Gold, with that monthly, those games you have to stay connected, or you'll lose them, kind of like PlayStation Plus. So that's kind of a negative for me with this modern gaming. Again, they're blurring the line with, the physical thing is almost meaningless now. It's like, it's nice. It's nice to have the disc. It's nice to have the box and the disc on the shelf, and at least I can take it to GameStop. Not that they're going to give me much for it, trade it in, or even take it to Dimples. They'll give me money there at Dimples. I can give it to a friend. I could sell it on eBay. You have options with a physical game. At least you have that. And you can see the gaming companies don't like that. And that's what's going to ultimately kill, if it hasn't already, GameStop and many of these bigger, gaming places, retail spots, this big box stores, is that it's going to kill them. And a lot of people don't like GameStop. Now, I personally have a great relationship with my GameStop, which I've been faithful to for many years. I know the manager, the gal there, has been there for 100 years. She loves me. She gives me, oh, Dean, how would you like, she kind of knows my taste, how would you like some Mad Max posters? Oh, that'd be great. Gives me these giant 5-foot Mad Max displays, and the Wolfenstein 2. She knows I'm a huge Wolfenstein fan. She's purposely set it aside and said, Dean, I saved you that Wolfenstein 2 poster. Oh, that's fantastic, So it's nice. A couple times I don't take advantage of it. A couple times I haven't liked the game. I just, I bought this. Oh, I bought that Project Cars 2. It's terrible, terrible. It's not designed, has no default controller settings for console gamers, God forbid. So I took it back and I just said, look, I don't want my money back. I'll just get something else. Can I do it? She said, oh, it's okay, Dean. I can do it for you. But just, I wouldn't make it a habit. She probably can get in trouble for that. But, she took the game back, and I gladly bought something else. It worked out good. So I don't have a problem with GameStop per se. I don't want to segue into the whole thing on GameStop, but you can see that their days are numbered, It's kind of sad. That's the new direction that modern gaming is going in. And it's kind of sad. I like going in the game stores, Now, I've never rented a game in my life. I never once rented a game at Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or even a mom and pop store. To me, I like owning the game. I like the investment of taking a risk and rolling the dice and throwing it down and buying the game and then taking it home. I got $50 in this game. I hope it's good, And that was back before you could sell it on eBay or trade it in or whatever. And to me, it's like an investment. It's like you put your money on the line, you kind of take that risk, and sometimes it wouldn't pan out. Maybe a fourth of the games, you weren't thrilled with. But I like that. I like the fact that it's an investment. What is it, bud? Come here, Vinny. Here's Vinny. Hi, bud. Oh. Vinny likes the PS4 Pro. He likes the heat that comes out of it. Don't you, bud? Yeah. But, modern gaming it's something that I love. It's something that I need to invest more time. I've got a huge, investment of 100 games, and, probably half of them I haven't finished or even played the bulk of. So I've got, a lot of them I have bought brand new at full price. So because I believe in the game and they're a favorite franchise of mine, so I went ahead and would buy it. Even Far Cry 4, I'm only 50% of the way through it. And it's something that I'm going to have to, I'd like to go back and finish the game because I was having a ball with it. I don't know why I stopped. I think another game came out and I got sidetracked or something. It typically is what happened. But it's something I just need the time. It's hard for me with my crazy busy life. And right now I'm in the process of I've got a couple really good job offers for like full-time employment where I can run big painting crews for residential painting companies. The money's good. I've got 3 offers right now. I'm kind of considering them, and I'm thinking maybe the first of the year I may just kind of shut my business down and go back to it. It's too hard for me to do it by myself anymore. I'd rather work with another guy or a couple guys on a house and just knock it out and get it done and get on to the next one, where I'm having to be more selective. So I've had, even when I've had the time to game, I haven't had the energy. Now my health is back. It's back up where it needs to be. I was very depleted in quite a few vitamins and testosterone and things, and I'm getting a lot of therapy from my doctor right now, and it's made a huge difference. I have so much more energy for gaming, for work, for projects. I'm going ape shit around the house, knocking projects out. I'm up in my roof with a blower, blowing the leaves off. I'm cleaning my place. I'm replacing all the wood in the side of my house right now, and I love having that energy, and I like to put that into my gaming at night at the end of the day when I've worked hard, and I look forward to coming home and gaming. But it's getting tough with some of the games. They're just getting so big. And again, I've started so many and not finished them. And I'm at the point now where I'm even apprehensive to start, Far Cry 5 or Mafia 3, because I don't want to start another game and then not see it through. And so, God, do I go back and try to attack, some of these bigger games in my backlog from 2 years ago? Do I start with the new ones? I mean, what do I do? So what am I doing? I'm playing my modded Xbox, and I'm playing PS1 games. I haven't played this yet. Now I've been thinking about starting this and going all the way through, maybe even doing a playthrough of this, like I did on my Manhunt game, because this game is tough, and I know it really well. I've beaten this game twice all the way through, and it's fucking tough. Even Mark Bussler apologized to me and said, Dean, something. I tried to beat it. I sent him a copy of this. He said, I can't beat the game. I used up my 3 lives and I fucked myself. I'm so sorry. He likes to finish a game before he does a review. Where like CGR Undertow, they would only play 3 levels and then they could technically review it. But I said, dude, it's okay. It's a tough game. I appreciate you making the effort. He felt bad because he knows this is my favorite game. He wanted to do a review for me, which I appreciate. But at least those games you can finish them, and even if you don't finish it because you use up your 3rd life, at least you made a good attempt, and so in 10 hours or 8 hours or whatever, you stop and then you can go back and replay the game if you want. But I don't know. I think that I'm concerned about the future. I love my PS4 Pro. I hope that the next PlayStation 5 iteration has backwards compatibility, at least with a PS4, so I can play those discs. I can't see why they wouldn't. I think it would be a mistake to where they've got a whole new ecosystem, and now I got to buy another remastered PS5 version of this. Again, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they'd get a lot of flack for that, especially where Microsoft is offering backwards compatibility. And again, even that, you have to save to their cloud to save your progress on Xbox 360 games, which is just a no bueno with me. I don't agree with that at all. I think you can save your hard drive on original Xbox games only, and even those are kind of like digital versions. You use your old game as a key. I don't believe this is in their list of games, but you can use your old original Xbox game as a key, and then once you have that, you download the new emulated, Xbox One version, and then you can enjoy it. And I know some of them, they even have extra enhancements graphically or widescreen support and all that, which is very cool. So it's good in a way that we have that competition. I think it keeps Microsoft and Sony on their toes, as well as Nintendo, and it's nice that we've got those three ecosystems of games and that competition, because in the end, we as gamers win. So I want to let you know, I'm not against modern gaming. I think the world of it. I'm intimidated by the length of the games. I think in some ways we're really getting our money's worth. I mean, gee, shit, we've been paying $50 or $60 for games since the 80s. I mean, they got to get their money somehow out of us. It's kind of nice they make a game like the new God of War, and there's no microtransactions, there's no extra DLC or bullshit. You just pay $60 and you get a really high-quality, polished game. The same with Red Dead Redemption. You can use it as a key to go online, or you can just play the very robust, single-player campaign. You don't have to buy anything technically for that game. You just enjoy it for the $60, and that's great. They got this new Street Fighter V coming out, where now they've just had this new patch where they're going to start having advertisements, in-game advertisements. Then you have a choice. You can turn them off, but if you turn them off, you will get less prize money in the fights. So even though you're paid, it would be one thing if it was a free-to-play game, but because you're paying $60 or whatever you're paying for that game, for them to do that is really shitty. I think that's really, I don't like that at all. So they're going to have in-game ads. Who knows what that means? I mean, I don't know, something pop-ups on the screen. I know they're going to have, they did that with Jet Moto. I mean, some of the guys had Mountain Dew outfits on and Mountain Dew ads on the bikes, on the track. There was Chef Boyardee. There were Mountain Dew. A couple, I can't remember the companies. Need for Speed Pro Street also did it. Lots of in-game ads and billboards everywhere. And I don't mind that so much, but to penalize players, like if you disable the ads, then you get less payout on the prize fights. The money is just bullshit. But that's one thing I don't like about this direction of gaming. I just did a thing on the loot boxes, and again, as a single-player offline gamer, most of that doesn't affect me, although they did have some strange, kind of like loot box, gambling things with the Need for Speed Payback, which was kind of interesting. Which, in a way, I didn't mind it for that particular game, but I don't want it to be a habit and to be in every Need for Speed game from here on out. I mean, I get the next one based on that. I'm not a big fan of that. That was the only thing in the game I didn't like. Other than that, I thought the graphics were great. Again, it's a beautiful game. The driving is fast and fluid. The game looks and plays great. I've had no issues with it. Again, I haven't played it online. I know there's a lot more bugs and strange issues online, but again, I don't play those games online. So for me, it's a nice finished product. But we're going to start seeing more trends. Say nothing of the political correctness and virtue signaling and stuff that's being introduced into games now. I think it's Dragon's Dogma. Or there's some new game coming out that they're going to have a lot more pandering in it, and it's just so unfortunate. So there's so many games like Battlefield 5 that I just, I don't have to get on a soapbox about it, but I'm just personally not going to buy those games. I'm not going to spend my time or money on something that I know that there's developers that don't like other people's points of view, and they're going to try to force their agendas, political agendas down your throat via the games. I wish games were just more apolitical, to be honest. I really would be a lot happier. We didn't have to worry about that shit in these older games. You could just play the games, and you didn't have to worry about anything. Even these Duke Nukem games. I mean, they can't make this shit today. Or Land of the Babes, my God, that game is so misogynistic, especially the end of the game. I mean, but see, I just laugh at it. It's just funny. I get a chuckle out of it. I'm not offended by it. I see it for what it is. It's just, it's just fun. It's just fun. Good, clean fun, you know? Nothing, I mean, I would never fap to it or anything like that, but I mean, it's just fun. You can have fun with it. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but we're in a day and age where I don't think they'll have another Duke Nukem game, unless they kind of make fun of his character somehow. But I'd be terrified of how political correctness would just ruin Duke Nukem. I'd rather not see it. I'd rather just be happy with Duke Nukem Forever as the final game than to see them go on. So that's one dynamic that I clearly do not like about this 8th gen, is it's just more and more games are being compromised by developers with political agendas, and they're intolerant of other people's points of view, and that's sad. That's sad. I pride myself on being open-minded and trying to be, accept and tolerate other people's points of view, but I don't want to choke on my game, because they're making the female characters more masculine and ugly. They don't want to make them voluptuous anymore, God forbid, because it's offensive to feminist groups or what have you. Again, I want to get into a big political thing, but for me, that's a major dynamic that I have to address. I'm just going to say that and move on with it. I'm an old timer. I'm an old fuck, so naturally I like a lot of that older stuff. But, at least we have a variety. You can pick and choose what you like. If you like Mass Effect Andromeda and the characters and that kind of stuff, that's great. Frankly, I'm looking forward to playing the old ones and going back to the beginning of the roots of that game, because it sounds so good. I like what I've seen on it and what have you. It looks like a great game. I could see myself enjoying a good science fiction saga like that in a series. It really looks good. And so I don't know. You can put down in the comments how you feel. How do you feel about modern gaming? Is it something that you just accept? I know many people, when the new Xbox One came out and the PS4 back in 2013, fuck these old PlayStation 3 games. They just immediately took all their games and their consoles and took them right to GameStop. And how much would you give me? Oh, $119 for this. Wow, I can put that towards my Xbox One. And I said, God, don't do it. You're going to regret getting rid of those games. Now they're making at least plenty of remasters, which is nice. So some of the people that miss those games and no longer have, a PS3 or an Xbox 360 can play them. Certainly some of them you can play on PC, you don't, if you're a PC gamer. But to me, I like having the ability to go back and play those old games. It would be nice if Sony can play ball and have backwards compatibility. I know the PS3 is a completely different architecture. So I know that even to have for the early PS3 could play PS2 games, if they had to have like a separate whole setup inside that thing to where it could even play both, PS1 and PS2 games for backwards compatibility, where they get rid of that on the later model PlayStation 3. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future. But I'd like to hear from you. How do you feel about next gen gaming? Do you like it more than 7th gen and beyond? Do you frankly prefer the older games? Again, I've got a pretty wide audience. I have some good retro gamers and collectors, and I've got a lot of guys that are, I enjoyed playing Jet Moto, and I enjoyed playing a lot of those older games, and some of the early Modern Warfare games and Call of Duty 2. They were fun, but it's time to move on. You were happy playing them once, and now you're just happy playing the new things. And I certainly can understand that. My problem is that, and I'm just a modest collector. I don't even have a big, robust collection, but I have taken the time to just collect just the PS2 and 3 games that I like, and some old, Genesis games, just a handful from each system that I really enjoy. And I'm glad that I have that collection, because I like to go back and return to them, and especially where I am getting disenchanted with this gen in many respects, and probably will be more so in the future. I'm just nervous. I just don't want it to go in the way of a pure streaming or cloud-based setup in the future. But, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd like to know either way. I enjoy doing these vlogs. Thank you so much for your comments. I really enjoy the fact that you don't have to, but some of you take the time and just put a comment down. Just say, hey, I like the video, or even a detail. I got some friends that leave some very detailed videos, even with timestamps And I like that. I like the fact that my videos meant enough for you to, respond to them, and I like to interact with those people. I really appreciate the comments and your feedback as a gamer. That's why I do this. I'm never going to monetize. This will always be a Patreon free channel. It's all about the community and sharing ideas and conversing and having a conversation about gaming. That's why I do this. So thank you so much for watching. Add your perspective down below. And thanks again. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas and enjoy your games.